to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?
So I was born in Connecticut, but my family moved to India when I was 2 years old. So I grew up in India, Hyderabad, the south of India, yeah.
When did you come over here?
I came here when I was 18, so for college basically.
Oh, cool, okay.
Where are you from?
I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. My family moved when I was 3 or 4, and we moved to Asheville, North Carolina, and so I grew up there my entire life until I came to college here, and then my family moved here.
Oh, cool.
So now I guess I'm from Durham, but yeah, moved around a lot.
Cool. So how did you make your way to UNC?
So I started out at UNCG the first 2 years. I'm a transfer student. From Asheville and graduating high school, being homeschooled, I just went straight to UNCG, which was probably a good thing because it's a really small school. And I think if I had started at UNC right away, it would have been really overwhelming. But then come sophomore year, I decided to apply just to see if I could get in. My brother went here, it was a better school, and my family was also moving here, and I have 4 nephews that I wanted to be closer to. So I was like, what the hell, I'll apply. I did, and I got in. So I was like, yep, I'm transferring. And I also got a lot more money being here.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And I had an ex-boyfriend at UNCG I wanted to get away from, so it worked out really well.
All of it worked out super well.
Yeah, it was a blessing in disguise. Which is funny because I was supposed to transfer to App after my freshman year, and I never did. And I was like, probably worked out for the best because I ended up at UNC, which is like the best school. So
yeah.
How did you make your way to UNC?
It's a very convoluted story. So I didn't really know much about UNC Chapel Hill. One of my cousins had gone here, but I kind of didn't really pay attention to that, brush it off. So when I was actually applying to universities here in the US, I looked at UNC Chapel Hill and it had the early application, October 15th. So I was like, let me just practice applying to colleges and let me just practice on UNC Chapel Hill, this random school. So I started doing research about it when they asked you like why UNC questions, and I fell in love with it. It was like great weather, pretty school. I at the time applied for a biology major, but I knew I was interested in like advertising and journalism and that side of things, so it's good for both. And so it just worked out really well, and I started praying to get in, and I got in, and here we are.
Well, I'm glad you got in. What's a distinct happy childhood memory?
Oof. Distinct childhood memory. Probably when my family and I went to Europe. It would have to be some memory from there.
Where in Europe?
We went to so many countries in Europe, but probably like Paris or something like that, because
I love Paris.
yeah, because we had just watched Ratatouille, so yeah.
How old were you when you did this?
12, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were old enough to actually like remember it.
Thank God, yeah, because my brother wasn't old enough to remember it, and now he complains. He's like, y'all went to Europe, I came to, but I have no memory of it. So, yeah.
Okay.
What is a distinct happy childhood memory of yours?
Shoot, I had this thought out and I completely forgot it. I would say maybe, well, this one's kind of like it started out bad, but it's like kind of a funny, good childhood memory. I got grounded one time, and I was grounded for like probably a month, so I couldn't talk to my best friend, and she lived next door. So I was on the 2nd story of my house, and I hung a peanut butter jar with a string outside of my window, and every day she would leave notes in the peanut butter jar, and then I would leave notes, and that's how we talked for like the whole month that I was grounded.
Oh,
so it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like a happy, funny childhood memory.
Was it like during break, or did you go to school?
Well, I was homeschooled, so I was home
gotcha.
all the time, but when I was grounded, I couldn't see any friends or watch TV or do anything, because I was kind of like a rebellious kid, so I was getting grounded a lot. So to talk, that's what we did. Or we'd use like walkie-talkies. because neither of us had cell phones. Yeah.
That's so cute.
What is a distinct, happy, recent memory?
My boyfriend and I went to his hometown, so where he grew up in Morganton, and we hiked near, like, I think it's called Table Rock. But it was just a small hike, and it was during the sunset time, and it was really good. He doesn't live there anymore, so he has very fond memories with the place.
Yeah.
So he was really happy when he was there in that area, and it was really happy for me to see him be that happy, and it was just really nice. He had a huge film camera that he was taking pictures with, and it was really nice.
Oh, that sounds like a fun trip.
So what's the biggest challenge you've ever faced?
It's supposed to be happy, recent memory.
Oh no. What's a distinct happy recent memory you've had?
Probably from July. I studied abroad in London, so now my current boyfriend, but I had met a boy in London that goes to UNC, and he invited me to Paris for the weekend. So we went, and France won the World Cup that weekend. So I was in Paris when France won the World Cup with my now boyfriend.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that is
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Aww. So does he go to Chapel?
He goes to UNC, but he was studying in London for a completely different program, and our professors decided to have us like meet the two programs. So we met at like a little mixer to watch soccer together or whatever, and from there we just kind of hit it off, and a few months later started dating.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I heard Paris was wild when they won the World Cup.
They had cars on fire. People, all of the businesses, like the day before, were boarding up like all of their windows. And I was kind of wondering if it was going to be worse if they lost or if they won, because like people were going to be energetic either way. But yeah, cars were on fire. Like we were walking down the street and people were just popping bottles of champagne, and so like the streets were just like soaked with champagne, and you couldn't get into any bar because they were all packed while everybody watched the game. And then the second they won, we were walking back to our Airbnb, and like we knew they had won because the whole city just like started screaming.
Oh my god! Wow,
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds scary, but it must have been so much fun.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm always gonna remember that. Like,
yeah,
100 years from now, I'll remember that.
That is so cool.
What is the biggest challenge you faced?
Ooh. Probably battling with self-image, just bringing myself down a lot, and I didn't even recognize that I was doing that till friends, family, and Ben, my boyfriend, pointed it out to me. And I've always done it, and just a lot of the times it's never healthy, but a lot of times it's very unhealthy. So yeah, trying to come over that would probably be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
What's your biggest challenge?
Probably losing a friend. At the end of last semester, one of my friends was hospitalized, and she ended up living. She had like several strokes and brain surgery, and she woke up and didn't remember all of college. She didn't remember her family, and so at this point, I don't think she remembers me. So that's probably the biggest challenge I faced.
I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah, there's nothing really to say to that. It sucks, but I guess it's kind of life.
I'm glad she came out of it though.
Yeah, I think she's slowly getting her memory back, but her family's kind of like a little strange, so I'm not really allowed to visit her right now. There's just a lot going on, so hopefully one day she'll get back her memory and we can be friends again.
Yeah, I know, I hope so.
Who is the biggest role model in your life?
I'm pretty sure it would be both my parents. I have like different things I look up to both of them for. So
And those things are?
So my dad, it would be like he's a very hardworking man, and he's very philanthropic, and he puts in a lot of hard work into what he does, but everything he gets, he tries to give back to the society. So, and he's taught my brother and I those qualities since we were younger. And my mom is very strong. She has been through a lot, and she handles it very well with a very calm mind. And she's also very creative, very fun to be with. All of my friends like her more than they like me. So.
I feel that my friends are like that with my parents.
Yeah. So who's your biggest role model?
My biggest role model is probably my mom. She's level-headed and gives great advice. She's like the first person I go to when I have a problem. And I don't know, she's just very like, I'm like kind of the opposite of her sometimes, where I freak out a lot when things happen and I'm like not calm and I think it's the end of the world and life as I know it is gonna end. And then she's always like, yo, calm down, like it's gonna be fine, this isn't the end of the world. So I would say I want to be more like her, and I see like characteristics of her coming out in me, but like not necessarily the characteristics I want from her. Like, I guess she's very much a homebody, and I notice that in myself, but I'm like, no, I want like her patience. So hopefully as I go older, one step at a time.
You'll slowly become her.
What do you want to be remembered for?
That's a really hard question. What I would like to be remembered for would probably be like giving back to the society and just being nice to everyone. But I think the path I am in right now, the answer would be like being a creative person and I don't know, being like somebody big in the ad world. But because I don't do anything related to social work, I'd like to, but I don't necessarily right now. What about you? What would you like to be remembered for?
Personally, probably putting other people before myself. Like, I feel like when I meet someone new, I want them to remember me for being kind and stuff like that. Like, not being selfish. And then academically, hopefully, I want to write a book eventually, so it'd be cool to be remembered for that.
Yeah.
But I would say those are probably the two things I want to be remembered for. Yeah.
Cool.
What is the most interesting thing you've learned about me?
Ooh, I feel like you're a very strong person. A lot of things you've told me are, first of all, you being homeschooled is very interesting. I'm all about homeschooling. But just like losing your friend and just, I don't know, I feel like you're a very strong person when that comes up.
That means a lot considering half the time I don't feel like I'm a very strong person. I cry more than anyone I know.
Oh, me too. What's the most interesting thing you've learned about me?
I feel like thinking about it, when you answered the question about the challenges you faced and also your role models, so kind of those questions intertwine, thinking about your challenges and your self-image and how you see yourself, but then also your role models and how your mom is strong and your dad works hard. So I see kind of who you see yourself as now and who you want to be. And I feel like you've got very achievable, good goals. So just talking to you for a few minutes, I feel like I learned a lot about the person you are, but also the person that you want to be down the road. I think that's really cool. And also the fact that you got to go to Paris at 12, and I only just got to go in June.
I would prefer going at this age than with my parents when I was 12 years old, for sure.
Well, at least we share that like connection or bond. We've both been to Paris, which I feel like not a lot of people can say.
Yeah, I know.
That's pretty cool.